Applause echoed through the grand ballroom just as my father's fist slammed into my face. For once, someone put her in her place. My brother's voice carried across the stunned silence as I crashed into a table of crystal desserts, glass shattering beneath me while dozens of guests froze mid-breath. But what neither of them knew was that everything they had built was already collapsing. My name is Aria Navarro, and that night was the last time my family ever touched me. Blood filled my mouth as my father, Victor Navarro, grabbed my hair and dragged me across the marble floor toward the exit. Pain shot through my scalp, but I stayed quiet. I had learned long ago silence survived longer than screams. Faces blurred past me. Business partners, lawyers from my brother Julian's firm, friends who suddenly found the floor more interesting than what was happening. "You think you can betray this family?" My father snarled. "You think you can expose us?" Behind him, Julian stood near the stage, champagne glass still in hand from his promotion celebration. "She's just bluffing," he said with a smirk. "She's always been too weak to actually do anything." Weak. That word used to define me. Not anymore. They called it family business, but I knew what it really was. Girls recruited through fake modeling opportunities. Contracts forged. Passports confiscated. Lives erased. Some were sent overseas. Some were never seen again. The emergency exit slammed open as my father dragged me into the alley. Cold night air hit my skin just as he shoved me hard against a brick wall. "You've been digging," he growled, pressing his arm against my throat. "Files, records. Did you really think I wouldn't notice?" I spat blood onto his expensive suit. "The Hernandez family noticed," I said hoarsely, "when their daughter never came back from her Paris contract." His face twisted with rage as he pulled his fist back again. But this time, I moved. I ducked, stepped away, and raised my phone. "Touch me again," I said, breathing hard, "and this goes live." He froze. 10,000 people watching right now," I added, steadying my voice. "Say hello, Victor Navarro, CEO, trafficker, father of the year." He lunged for the phone. I stepped back, already moving toward my car. I hadn't actually been streaming, but fear doesn't need proof to work. I locked myself inside my car, hands shaking as I stared at my reflection, split lip, swelling jaw, blood trailing down my cheek. In the distance, my father and brothers stood frozen in the alley. For the first time, they weren't in control. I scrolled to a contact saved under 2 initials. "Dr." He answered immediately. "Aria, it's time," I said. "Everything is ready." 6 months earlier, I had pulled his son out of a rip current at a quiet beach. I had nearly drowned doing it. He had given me his number afterward. "Anything you ever need," he'd said. Tonight, I needed everything. "How bad is it?" he asked quietly. "Over 150 victims in 5 years," I said. "Teenagers, runaways, immigrants, some alive, some not." Silence. "Where are you?" he asked. "In the hotel parking lot. They'll start looking soon. Drive to the federal building. We're moving tonight." By the time I arrived, a full tactical team was already waiting. For 3 hours, I told them everything. The agency, the scouts, the contracts, the shipments, the hidden locations, the names, all of it. I wasn't just a witness. I was the map. "Your entire family is going down," one agent said, staring at the evidence. "Good," I replied, because this was never about revenge. It was about ending it. By 4 a.m., the raids began. Warehouses stormed, offices seized, hidden locations exposed. Girls terrified, exhausted, alive were pulled into safety. At our family home, my parents were caught trying to burn documents. Julian was arrested still wearing his celebration suit. The empire fell in hours. Later, I sat across from my father in a stark interrogation room. Gone was the power. Gone was the control. You destroyed us, he said bitterly. I shook my head. You destroyed yourselves the moment you decided people were products. It was business. He snapped. I leaned forward, letting him see every bruise he gave me. No, I said quietly. It was cruelty. He had no answer. I walked out of that room and never looked back. Because the truth was, I wasn't Aria Navarro anymore. That girl, the one who stayed silent, who believed fear was survival. She ended in that alley. The trials lasted 2 years. Hundreds of testimonies. Dozens of convictions. Lives recovered. Lives lost. Justice. Incomplete, but real. Now, I live under a different name. A different city. A different life. Some nights, I still feel the echo of that punch. But most days, I remember the girls who made it out. The ones who get to live. The ones who are finally free. That night, my father thought he was teaching me a lesson. He was right, just not the one he intended. Because sometimes, the strongest thing you can do isn't to survive the darkness. It's to burn it down completely.